Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to VolunteerFEST 2020. My name is Brad Creighton, and I do community engagement and events at Volunteer Fox Cities. And we are so glad that you're joining us for this a little bit different Volunteer Fest, but nonetheless still important because all of these wonderful agencies that are joining us have such important needs that still need to be filled, pandemic or not. So thank you for your interest, for watching. And I am excited that for this session, we have Rawhide Youth Services with us. Rawhide does amazing work with young people, and I won't tell you everything. I will let Stacy do that. So with that, let me introduce Stacy from Rawhide.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me, Brad. Yes,
You're
I'm
welcome.
excited to just share more information on Rawhide and specifically how we utilize volunteers and how we could really use more brilliant volunteers. For those of you who do not know who Rawhide is, we are a Christian-based nonprofit organization that helps all at-risk youth. So a lot of people are not aware that we're no longer just the old Rawhide Boys Ranch. A lot of people still think that we're just that place in New London that takes delinquent boys, and that's no longer true. We actually help boys and girls. We actually help 3 times as many girls as we do boys through outpatient therapy and equine therapy. So our New London campus is where it all started. And what we have there is we have actually 6 different homes that boys live in on our campus, and they have family model living situations in those homes. So unfortunately, a lot of the boys that come to us do not have the greatest background. They haven't had a very good family life. They've really been through a lot. And so coming to Rawhide, they're looking for security, they're looking for a feeling of family, they're looking for help, and they're looking for people to save their lives. So we offer the homes for them to live in, and then they have a school on site called Star Academy, where actually they can graduate from that school. So we actually had a graduation 2 weeks ago, and we have another one coming up in another 2 weeks, and that's very exciting to see. And we also have, our vehicle program on the New London site, which is a huge revenue source for us. But that is why we have events, because we have the therapy, we have, again, outpatient therapy, equine therapy, the residential living program, group homes, foster parents. But even though we have state funding and we get some funding from Medicaid, it's not quite enough to cover our cost to help save as many lives as we can. So that is why we have events. And so here I am as the event manager, just sharing with you, events that we typically have. This year was unusual because of COVID. But a lot of people know us for our famous fish fries, which we had in the spring, summer, and fall. And those were every 3rd Friday. And that was a fantastic way to get the community out to see Rawhide campus, to help bring in funding that is needed for our programs for our youth, and also for the youth to get work experience. So the boys would actually wait on the tables, serve the food, help with whatever needed to be done. So it was really a great experience for everyone. We couldn't have any of the fish fries this year, which is disappointing, but we certainly are holding on to hope for next year. So if you're interested in volunteering at a fish fry, there's so many different roles you can help with. You can help with parking, you can help with serving the food, you can help with waiting on the tables, bussing the tables, dishwashing, cleanup, being a floater where you just kind of fill in wherever is needed. So again, if you feel like that's something that'd be for you, we'd be happy to have you. Just reach out to me for more information. They're a fun event. We also have a band at every fish fry. So it really is a great time. And every volunteer gets a free meal. You get to eat as much as you want. And that's not just fish, it's shrimp and chicken too. So you'll be full when you leave to go home. And then we also normally have a gala event. And last year was our first one. It was unbelievable. We had over 500 people in attendance, and we raised over $250,000. So it was a huge success, held at Lambeau Atrium. Again, this year due to COVID, it was kind of a huge blow for us that we couldn't have our gala. We didn't want to go virtual because everybody's doing virtual and we didn't want to have virtual fatigue. So we are rescheduled for May 12th. It's a Wednesday night in the Lambeau Atrium. What a great way to be at Lambeau, to be surrounded in this great event and be a volunteer. So whether it's helping with registration, coat check, greeter, setup, cleanup, and all sorts of other miscellaneous things, I'm definitely looking for gala volunteers. So that, again, it's a fabulous event. We are excited that Art Star Junior will be attending our gala. Hopefully Cherry as well. And hopefully some other special guests. So we're still waiting on that yet. Then we also need help with campus care. So we not only have the New London campus, we have Shiocton, we have Fond du Lac, where we have equine therapy at both of those locations. And we could really use help with lawn mowing, with raking, with painting, with landscaping, at all three locations. So if you feel that's something more for you, we'd love to have you. But again, Rawhide is actually statewide also. So a lot of people don't realize that we're, again, not just New London, we're all around the state helping youth. So those are your volunteer opportunities with Rawhide. What questions do you have for me?
So can you tell us a little bit about what age requirements you have for volunteers?
Sure. So we would prefer that if you're coming alone to be 18 or older, we do a very simple background check since you are working with at-risk youth. If you are under 18, it's not that we're going to turn you away. We would just ask that you be with an adult.
Okay. And if you have, if there's maybe a 15, 16-year-old or something and they want to work the fish fry, and will you sign off on like volunteer hours if they need them for like an honor society or a club or something like that?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Great.
Yeah.
What else might a volunteer need to know, like in terms of providing training? You mentioned a background check, et cetera. Is there anything else that, if I was signing up to volunteer for gala or something, that I would expect from you guys?
Sure. So I actually, for the fish fry events, what I do is I send out a volunteer information packet. So it's everything that you would need to know, like what sort of clothing we suggest you wear so that you're comfortable, because it can get real hot. Things to be aware of, like if you're bringing personal items like a purse or something like that, maybe leave that at home. So yes, again, you would get a packet ahead of time. I would even suggest maybe come on out to Rawhide and have a visit with me beforehand if you can. We do have a cafe on site in New London, and hopefully, hopefully this coming spring, summer, we'll be able to have fish fries. But once our cafe is back up and open, again, I would encourage any potential volunteers to reach out to me, say, hey, I want to see campus, where would I park? What would I be doing just to get familiar with it? Not necessary, but it might be helpful.
Sure. Yeah, I'm optimistic that we'll have stuff in the spring and summer.
We have to be optimistic, right?
Yeah, right, absolutely. No kidding.
For the gala, it depends on the role that you choose to help with. If you really feel that registration is something that you enjoy, there's actually trainings that you would have to be involved in beforehand because it is all through iPads.
Okay.
So it doesn't require a significant amount of time. But it does require, I would say, maybe 6 to 8 hours of training before the event.
Okay.
And then we do just ask that the day of the event, even though it starts around 5 p.m., most volunteers need to be there at least between noon and 3, again, depending on what your role is.
Sure, absolutely. And what kind of time commitment it is for, now it may vary on the role, but for the fish fries, what kind of time commitment is that?
Sure. So we start the fish fries at 5 o'clock and then we finish serving at 8 o'clock. So there is a light training right before we start the fish fry. So I encourage all volunteers to be there no later than 4 p.m.
Okay.
Now, even though we stopped serving the fish at 8 p.m. doesn't mean we're done at 8 p.m. Sometimes there can still be a line. We have served anywhere from 300 to over 500 people in those 3 hours.
Wow,
That's a lot of people.
that's awesome. That's fantastic.
So it is fantastic. So sometimes we're serving up until 9 p.m. because we don't want to turn anybody away. But I do like to let people know it could be a long night if you have some, restrictions where you can only work 2 or 3 hours. We can certainly work with you on that. But cleanup is something that we really need to help with as well. So that can be up to like 10 p.m.
Okay. So maybe some of the more night owls. That's a
Right.
great role for them. Yeah.
Right.
So now I know the fish fries are seasonal and Gala's got its specific date, but I would imagine year round you'll talk to anybody that might be interested. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. You can reach out to me at any time. On the link on the Volunteer Fest, it does give a lot of information as well as the roles. I'm just going to try and pull it up here real quick. Okay, so this is the information that is provided on the Volunteer Fest link. So you'll see at the top, you can find my phone number. That goes directly to my office or my email, which is the s.eggleston@rawhide.org. Again, maybe if fish fry season doesn't work for you or gala season, being in May doesn't work for you, again, we can always use help with campus care year round. And sometimes we have miscellaneous projects that come up. Like, for example, we're going to be putting together some baskets for our staff. We have 170 staff. So we could maybe use help bundling those together. So again, don't ever hesitate just to reach out and say, hey, is there anything that I can help with? I'm always happy to talk to you. But you'll see there's a little bit more information here on the fish fry. So giving you our New London address, but again, we have several locations, but the fish fry is just on the New London campus. Tells you a little bit more about the roles that are available. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is salad bar prep. But you'll see again, setup, cleanup, taking orders, delivering meals, assembling meals, dishwashing, floater, parking, busing, beverage, and salad bar prep. Again, it's a super fun event. So it really is a lot of fun to be at. The night goes pretty quick.
About how many volunteers do you have on any given fish fry night?
I would say, we have a lot of staff that work the fish fry events. So our staff have to take turns. So one department might have May and one department might have June.
Okay.
But I would say we could have up to 15 volunteers also help on one night. But we certainly would welcome more because there's plenty of work to be done. So we're more than happy to see your smiling faces.
Excellent.
I passed the gala here. So again, we're having the gala May 12th. We're having a really fun starry theme night. So kind of like constellations and just kind of a fun, mystical kind of a feeling because we really want to celebrate Cherry Star and Cherry and Bart are a lot of the reason that Rawhide is what it is today. And actually we wouldn't exist without them. So we just really want to honor them. So that's why we chose the starry theme. But just a super fabulous event. Again, over 500 that attended last year. It's just a dazzling night. But again, you'll see the roles that are available. So set up the night before, night of teardown. Registration is a huge thing that we really could use help with. Auction assistance. So if you want to help guests with how do they use their phones to get the auction to work, or they want to help set up the auction, or even help with procurement. Procurement is where you actually reach out to businesses and ask for donations. We could always use help with that as well. And we actually could use one or two more committee members. So we have a planning committee. They're mostly people in businesses that really want to represent their business, but grow themselves by being involved in an event like this. It gives them connections to other people. And so if that's something that really intrigues you, I'd love to talk to you more about that. That's an interview process to be on the planning committee, but be very happy to talk to you. That requires a little bit more time. So you know, you would have to be engaged from now until May. Not that you have work to do every day, of course not, but you would have to be engaged.
Great.
There's actually a YouTube link here as well that anybody can go on at any time and watch a little video of our event last year. And then again, just a reminder, Campus Care, I have our Shiocton address on there as well, but also Fond du Lac, which I don't have on here. But again, that's, you know, pulling weeds, painting, raking, lawn mowing, again, kind of your basic cleaning up needs. So the maintenance crew could always use help with that. So especially lawn mowing. We had a guy the last few years, he was like our main guy. That's all he did was volunteer to mow the lawn. Our New London campus has over 700 acres. Not that that's all grass. It's not all grass. But we really had a dedicated guy. He was there 4 days a week mowing lawns. So if that's more your thing, we'd love to see you.
Wow. Fantastic. Well, Stacy, thank you for sharing. And one last time, can you give us your contact information in case someone wanted to learn more or sign up to volunteer?
Absolutely. So again, my name is Stacy Eggleston. I'm the event manager in development. And you can find my number here. Again, this link is on the VolunteerFEST page. My number is 920-531-2598. Or you can email me at seggleston, which is EGGLESTON @rawhide.org.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for what you do and for everything that Rawhide does for those kids that they really need it, and you guys do so much for them. We are grateful that you are in our communities, in our state, doing that. So thank you. And if the stuff that Stacy was talking about sounds like it would be a great fit for you, please do not hesitate to reach out. I know you can be a part of helping Rawhide do the things that they do as well. If you are like me and you have a question that you completely forgot to ask or didn't come up with till after you were done watching, you can go ahead and reach out to Stacy in the manner that she just had, and I know that she will be happy to answer those questions for you. Again, on behalf of Volunteer Fox Cities, thank you for being here for VolunteerFEST 2020. Thank you for your interest in volunteering and for helping out these great agencies. And we look forward to seeing you for more sessions.